Can we make sustainability more economically viable with innovative business model? Well, that's what we are going to discover during this final assignment of business model innovation. My name is Si Yao. I'm from China. I'm a consultant in. So I'm going to start with a brief introduction of the background, and together with the reference sources that we have in the market today. So here we have a short background introduction. I'm going to introduce you two terms. On the left side of the screen is about the sector, and on the right side of the screen is what our business model is about. So first of all, as I mentioned, I worked for a TIC company as sustainability consultant. So what stands for TIC? It means actually testing, inspection, and certification. The definition given by TIC Council is that the independent TIC sector provides conformity assessment services, such as testing, validation, declaration of conformity, etc., either for regulatory reasons or good practices in order to protect people and the environment. And on the other hand, CFP study, CFP stands for carbon footprint of products. It's talking about quantifying the carbon footprint, so carbon dioxide equivalent as unit, throughout the whole life cycle of studied product or system. It's about the management of carbon emission, a very important pillar of sustainability. So I'm going to present two reference offers that we have today in the market. One is traditional way to make CP. So the green line on the right side of the screen, we plotted with the green curve. And the blue curve stands for simplified way to make CP studies, and it's represented by the blue curve here. And let's start with the definition of attributes. So first of all, we have complexity. It defines how complex the process is to carry out the CP studies. Of course, by nature, simplified way is simplified, so it's less complex. It's having a relatively much higher value to compared to the traditional way. And by the way, the higher the score is means the solution brings more value to the customer on that attribute. So it's followed by accuracy, of course, because traditional way is more technically robust, so it's having more score than a simplified way to make CP on that attribute. And in terms of cost, simplified means more cost and time efficient, so 3 against 1. Then secondary value, which defines the potential of the CP studies being used to further improve the environmental aspects of the product. Knowing that informed decision must be based on solid basis, so on this attribute is also traditional way having the more value than simplified way. In terms of compliance, of course, traditional robust solid way will be compliant with more international standards by nature. So it's relatively having higher score than simplified way. And last but not least, regarding data security, it's also very important, yet those two solutions are relatively close, but by nature, because simplified solution will hide some of the details, so actually it's having slightly higher score than traditional way to make CP. And here comes the interesting part. It's about our new business model, which is called process certification. To give an idea about how the process certification for CFP will be executed and carried out, I draw a very simplified demonstration. So from the left side, we have a process certification. It's about certifying the way companies are carrying out their CFP studies, whether it makes sense, whether technically it's compliant. etc. Then this certification has to be followed by an annual surveillance plan, which is recurring, and the idea is to ensure the maintenance of the quality and the consistency of the process. The idea is to allow, as the last block here, the communication made by the company. The companies having received the certification on their safety processes will have the confidence to disclose and communicate about the findings and the results from their safety studies. Let's talk about the cost and the value creation. I will also take this opportunity to briefly explain the value architectures of different business models. We start with the value creation. This is the value creation bar you are seeing on the screen. The legend per different color is on the lower part of the screen. So red stands for CFP study, cyan is its verification, yellow stands for communication, and green for process certification. Knowing that companies that are for profit, making communication and the fact that they received the certification on their process are helping the company to win competitiveness and thus bring more direct value to the company. While being the backbone, the CFP study itself, together with its verification, they're relatively bringing less value to the company. So here comes the cost bar. This is the cost bar of our reference offer. The length of each bar represents the cost. Now, in our traditional scenario, company needs to perform first of all the CFP study and get it verified before any communications can be made. Due to the complexity of the CFP study and its verification, it represents the majority of the cost, while the cost needed to make communication is relatively small while it's generating the majority of the value. And of course, because the process certification is not involved in our reference offer, so no value is generated regarding the process certification. Now let's compare the cost bar of our new business model, which is process certification. First of all, we can see that the cost to develop the CFP study is reduced thanks to the fact that during the certification, the process will be improved and it will be streamlined. Then the sign part, verification, is no more needed because it's replaced by our process certification. Communication part stays untouched because this part is not changed with the change of business model. Then the green part stands for the cost of process certification, knowing that process certification is something company can make once to benefit all reports generated with the same process. So the result of very tiny green bar here we're seeing is the split of the total cost of process certification to each generated CFP studies. So in conclusion, we can see that our new business model is generating more value thanks to the added value of process certification with lower cost. We will now make comparison on the value proposition. To start with, two more attributes have been added to existing comparison. The first is the harmonization, which describes to which extent the company's CFP approaches will be comparable with either internal or external way to make CFP studies. The second one is competency building. It's the opportunity for the company to improve and streamline their process of making CFP. The result can be seen on the right side of the screen. I plotted the new value curve of our new business model, which is called PCCFP, with yellow line. So as we can see, generally speaking, for almost all attributes we identified previously, our new business model is having higher performance than the reference offers that we are having in the market of today. And now I'm going to structure our new business model with the profit equation. On the revenue side, we have revenue from auditor's mandate, we have certification fee, we have the registration fee per CFP report under certified process. And for the cost, we have to pay for the auditor's salary, we have an administration fee, and also certificate management fee. On the other hand, now talking about net fixed asset, there's no significant change compared to our reference offers. However, on the working capital requirement, we have some improvement due to the fact that the payment by customer will be collected on a yearly basis and in advance. And thanks to the annual surveillance plan, our auditor's agenda will be easier to manage. Thank you for bearing with me during the whole presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope my presentation made sense to you. And if you have any comments, any thoughts, any suggestions, you are very welcome to share with me either through Coursera website, or you can contact me directly by writing me emails. I hope we all had a pleasant journey during the courses of business model innovation. Till next time.